Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was excited to see it, but I was out of town, so I couldn't wait.
I now call this meeting of the Brevard County Board of Zoning Adjustment for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 to order. Will Mr. Bodie from the Planning and Development Office please describe the function and operation of the Board of Zoning Adjustment to our applicants and to the audience, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body established by the Board of County Commissioners under Chapter 62, Article 2, Division 4 of the Brevard County Code. The Board of Adjustment is empowered to hear requests for variances to the zoning regulation and sign regulation in Chapter 62, Article 6, and Article 9. Pursuant to Florida Rules of Appellate Procedure, any person or persons jointly or severally aggrieved by any decision, the Board of Adjustment may within 30 days after the date the order is signed apply to a court of competent jurisdiction for appropriate relief. Ms. Chairman, you have 3 items on your agenda today.
Thank you, Mr. Bodie. Will our Vice Chair, Mr. Holmberg, please explain to the applicants and audience the statutory definition of a hardship?
Undue hardship. A variance may be granted when it will not be contrary to the public interest and where, owing to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter will result in unnecessary and undue hardship. The term undue hardship has a specific legal definition in this context and essentially means that without the requested variance, the applicant will have no reasonable use of the subject property under existing development regulations. Personal medical reasons shall not be considered as grounds for establishing undue hardship, sufficient to qualify an applicant for a variance. Economic reasons may be considered only in instances where the landowner cannot yield a reasonable use and/or a reasonable return under the existing land development regulations. The applicant must answer a variance hardship worksheet with 6 questions. The Board of Adjustments will discuss these questions today with each applicant who has requested a variance.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I would like to address our board members, the applicants, and our audience about the procedures that would be followed during these procedures. The Board of Zoning Adjustment will utilize Robert Rules of Order to conduct its proceedings. The chair is asking all board members not to ask questions while the applicants are making their presentations. Once the applicant have completed their presentation, we will begin board questioning with the board members who represents the applicant's district. When concluded, questioning is open to the full board. The chair will recognize each board member in turn. Once all board members have completed their questioning, we will then open the floor to the audience who may be here to speak concerning the applicant's application. Anyone from the audience wishing to speak will be given the opportunity to address the board only once. At the conclusion of public comment, the applicant will be given additional time for rebuttal, as well to present their final comments. Once completed, no further comment will be heard from the applicant or the public. The action then moves to the board for discussion and action. We will not use a timer for this meeting. Instead, we're asking each speaker to be concise in what they have to say. It's important that you stay on the subject and avoid information that's not relevant. All persons speaking must provide their name and address for the public record. Those wishing not to verbally state their address may ask the clerk at the podium for an address card. Please fill it out and return to the clerk. Are there any questions regarding these procedures from the board members? Are there any questions regarding these procedures from the applicants? And are there any questions regarding these procedures from the audience? Seeing none, we will move on to our next order of business. Our next order of business is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting last month.
I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes as distributed.
I'll second.
There's been a motion to make a meeting to approve our meetings by Mr. Hoffman and a second by Mr. Humberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are approved. We now move into the consideration of the variance applications. Mr. Bodie, may we have the first applicant that's requesting a variance, please?
Yes, item H1, Sunny and Surf LLC, request variance for the principal structure and an accessory structure shed in an RU-2-15 zoning classification. Application is 25V00012, located at tax account number 2520285 in District 2.
Will the applicant please step forward to the podium?
Here, okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Marc-Andre Lalonde, 4315 Dixie Way, Mims.
Thank you. Raising your right hand, do you swear and affirm that the evidence you're about to give to this Board of Adjustment is the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please speak directly into the mic.
Try to keep it concise. Essentially, we are asking for variance to essentially accomplish two things. First is to keep the existing dwelling of the 1950s. Our current zoning allows us to essentially build up to 5 residential units with the RU-215, and we don't want to do that. We do want to have the option to add a second building, hence the reason why for this variance. It would allow us to separate the lot 23, and having the ability to do so helps tremendously with financing for a secondary dwelling. And what also the variance does is able to keep the existing 1950 structure intact with our current resident in it. And that essentially would allow us, this variance will allow us to do those two things.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, thank
Keith.
you. No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see this is from District 2. Ms. Clemmings?
I know. I see what they're requesting. I don't have any specific questions. I don't have any specific questions right now.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions for this applicant? Mr. Hoffman? I'm sorry?
The variance is for limiting the side setback, is that it?
There's essentially two variants, correct? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to speak or
Yeah,
explain.
go ahead,
Okay.
please.
Yes, there's currently there's two variants because one, let's talk about the wood shed in the back, was built 40, 50 years ago, is close to the property line. So obviously that becomes a zoning issue, hence the reason why the variance. And the second one, I'm not sure if you have the survey in front of you guys,
do.
but okay, it is correct. It's the existing building, that property line that you see, it is at 3.9 feet and technically needs to be at 10 feet in order to meet the current zoning setbacks. So essentially, this is what I'm asking, without moving the building, by keeping the existing, the building intact.
So how does lot number 23 come into play here?
Correct. So lot 23 become essentially, this whole property consists of 3 non-conforming lots. So lot 23 is own parcel ID, becomes a single-family lot, non-conforming, and allows us, per this zoning, allows us to build a single-family dwelling with, obviously, the current setbacks of today.
Okay, so you're going to stay within the setbacks on lot 23. It's just that your existing
Correct.
is close to the property line. Are
That's
these
right.
going to be single, are they going to be the same owner? Are the lots being consolidated into one parcel?
No, so right now it is one parcel.
Now it is one parcel.
Correct. This is all one parcel. What I'm trying to do is create a second parcel with lot 23.
Which you'll either sell off or use
No, we
separate.
We would like to build on it, and that's the reason why.
Okay.
And we just want to keep the 1950s intact, because technically we can build 3 single-family homes on this property. We can build up to 5 townhomes. We don't want to do this. We just want to build a second one by keeping the 1950s intact.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Humber?
Well, I just have one question. Are you planning to ask for any kind of change from RU to anything else?
No. The zoning is, we're not touching or
Okay.
asking any variance. And actually, to answer a little bit more your question, is on lot 23, I have to stay within the setback of a non-conforming lot. So it's going to be, we already discussed this in the past, it's 35, feet on either side, the current setbacks, essentially.
Okay.
All right. If you don't mind, just step to the side. I'm going to check with the audience. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor or opposition to this variance? Seeing none. Is there a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the variance. I just need to do one, right? Or there are two variance
There's
requests?
two variants.
It's two variants.
Oh, please, I'll read it.
Yes, you need to state approved for both variances.
I motion to approve the request for variances
It's depicted on the survey,
as depicted on the survey. I'm trying to find it, sorry.
8/30/24.
24.
8/30/24, where am I?
Good job.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
So will Bill.
So, Ms. Clemens made a motion to approve the variance. We have a second by Mr. Humberg. Mr. Hoffman, how do you vote? Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, we call the vote now.
I vote aye.
Mis- And aye.
We got a no
Aye.
aye.
I apologize.
He can't vote. He can't vote.
No, I mean, she voted.
I see that this variance have been approved. I will now read the 6 points. In order to authorize any variance, we have to find all of the following factors to exist: that special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to others, that the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant, that granting the variance requested would not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification, that literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant, that the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure, that the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. This variance have been approved.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
welcome.
Madam Chair, just for the record, since we have 5 people sitting up there, the vote was...
I'm sorry?
Just for the record, since we have 5 people sitting up there, but the vote was 4-0, correct?
That is
Yeah.
correct. The vote is 4-0, correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for your time.
You're welcome. Mr. Bodie, may we have our next applicant, please?
Yes, item H2, Alan B. Angy and Barbara C. Angy request 2 variances, Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code, for a principal structure and a swimming pool in an RU-1-11 zoning classification. Application is 25V00014, located at tax account number 2608503 in District 4.
Can the applicant come to the podium, please?
Hello, my name is Alan Angy, and the reason for my variance request is Hurricane Milton tore off a portion of my carport roof.
Okay, sir, before you go any further, I would like to swear you in, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're raising your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the evidence you're about to give to this Board of Adjustment is the truth?
Yes.
Please present your case.
As I said before, the reason for my request is the variance that I found was needed. It was after I had to have the survey redone on my property. My house was built in 1957. I've lived it since then. And Hurricane Milton on the 10th of October destroyed about half of the, it's just a roof. It's not a permanent structure on my carport. And that's what I'm hoping to have a variance for. I found out that the variance, actually, there are two variances needed. One is for the deck part of my swimming pool. It's too close to the fence line, for one thing, and the deck, the slab, the concrete slab part of the carport that it stands on is also too close to the fence line, and those are the two variances I need. But my initial request was just to have the carport roof repaired. It had nothing to do with the swimming pool. It's on the opposite side of the house. It wasn't damaged at all in any way. And that's the reason for my request.
Okay, thank you. Well, I see this is in District 4, and Dr. Bass is not in today. So I just want to start off the question, if you don't mind. I just
Okay.
want to be very clear.
Okay.
So what I hear you saying to me is that the first request, you want to replace the carport structure, correct?
The roof, it's only the roof, that's all we're talking about,
The
because
roof.
that's all there is
Okay.
the roof and the support for it.
And the support
Two-
for it. And the
3
second
poles.
request is to legitimize your existing swimming pool,
Right.
because you're saying it's too close to the fence line,
Just the deck
deck.
part of the, you know.
the deck part of the swimming pool.
No, that's not true. It's for the swimming pool structure itself. The swimming pool structure does not meet the side street setback. It's
Okay.
supposed to be 5 feet more than the 15-foot for the side street setback.
Okay.
It's not for the deck. We don't regulate the deck at all.
Okay. So that's to legitimize existing swimming pool, correct?
That's correct. The swimming
Okay.
pool, he said, has been there since about 69 or so.
Okay. And you stated that this was built in the 60s and the 70s,
The late
correct?
60s and early 70s, yes, both the carport and the pool were built during that
Okay.
period of time.
So that first request equates to 53% deviation, what the code allows, and the second request equates to 77% deviation. Okay, I have no other questions. Mr. Hoffman, any questions?
Not so much a question as a comment. It says here that you're a World War II veteran.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
It says here that you're a World War II veteran.
Yes,
Thank you for your service.
thank you.
And we're all sitting here in a democracy because of what you did.
Thank you.
Mr. Humberg, any questions or comments?
Just one, I'd like to commend you guys for this Attachment B worksheet. This is very good. You did a good job.
My daughter prepared that. I have to thank her for that.
Don't tell me that. You're supposed to say you did it. Good job.
Okay. Ms. Clemens?
No questions.
What was that?
I said no questions.
Okay.
Okay, well, I can't make a motion. Anybody would like to make a motion? Oh, it's. Correct. But first, before we do that, is there anyone in the audience? I'm just gonna ask you to step one side, one moment. I'm gonna say, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor or opposition to this variance? Seeing none. Would like to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve this variance application as depicted on the survey. Somebody's going to have to help me with their 224. Okay, the survey dated 2/24/25. I think that's it.
We have a motion by Mr. Bill Hoffman. Do we have a
A
second?
second.
We have a second by Ms. Clemens. Now we would like to take a vote with all board members.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
Go ahead and read the
And I will
correct
read
vote.
the 6 points. that special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to others, that the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant, that granting the variance requested would not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in the identical zoning classification, that literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant, that the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure, and that the granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. We have a motion to approve, a second. We will call a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay. This variance have passed 4-0. Thank you so
very
much.
If you don't mind, before you leave, could I shake your hand? One veteran to another. World War II, this came through.
He's coming to you, sir.
97, man, that's amazing.
Oh, I did it.
Thank you so
No,
much.
You're certainly welcome.
no. Yeah, no relation. My in-laws' family's from Pennsylvania area, so, and then California.
Thank you again.
But he's a
Thank you very
Vietnam
much.
vet,
You're welcome.
So, my father-in-law. Yes, I can imagine. You're so
Thank you
welcome.
for your service too, Steve.
Mr. Bodie, may we have the next applicant, please?
Yes, item H3, Erin L. Coris and Matthew W. Coris request variance of Chapter 62, Article 6, Brevard County Code for an accessory structure in an EU zoning classification. Application is 25B00015, located at tax account number 2511208 in District 2.
May the applicant come forward, please?
I think District 2 is the problem child, is that right?
Good afternoon.
Hi, can we have your name for the record, please?
Matthew Coris.
And you raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the evidence you're about to give the Board of Adjustment is the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can present your case.
My wife and I are asking for 411 square feet over the secondary structure requirement on a property in Brevard County. We are attempting to build a garage that will house our RV and boat. The property that we're building on is a property that we bought in 2018, and it was sectioned off over the years from the owners before it. They had owned it since the 30s, and it's a very peculiar lot. It's a T-shaped lot where really it's supposed to be two separate lots, but it was sold as one single lot with some zoning problems from the very beginning. And it has entry from one street and exit from another street, which is what we're trying to use. So we're trying to build a secondary garage so we have access to leave on the side street, MacGyver, because it's very difficult to get an RV or a boat trailer around the corner. And the size, the 411 square feet, comes from the length of the boat and the length of the RV.
Okay, I see this is in District 2. Ms. Clemens, you'd like to start off the questioning?
Where on the T-shaped lot is the structure going?
It is going in the west-south corner.
Okay, and then where would the access to the, you said auxiliary road, where would that?
Yeah, so that's MacGyver. So the property has entry through 2087 Rockledge Drive, and then
Okay.
it has exit through MacGyver Lane. So the primary structure, our house, is 2087 Rockledge Drive, and then the secondary structure is actually going to be on MacGyver. So
And you
we
said
would-
the southwest side?
Southwest side, yeah.
Okay. I don't have any questions. Yeah, I see it. Well,
building there in the red.
oh, this is Rockledge. He wants it here.
No, he wants it right there. And then access McIver. There's this house over here. There's the building proposed.
Oh,
It's proposed.
okay. Okay.
Do you have any more questions, Ms. Clemens?
And you said two-story, is it a two-story structure or no? It's just
It's a
single.
one-story structure, but it's tall.
Okay,
because of the
for RV.
Yeah.
And what was the square footage on it? Just over 400?
Well, it's 411 feet over the, it's.
Requirement?
Yeah, the requirement. We're asking to build 2560. And our allowed is 2139.50.
Yeah, I see it now. I'm assuming power, water,
Yes, ma'am.
any apartment living?
No,
Okay.
no apartment. And the power and water is actually right there on the corner, and that's what feeds our other house as
Any
well.
plumbing?
No plumbing.
Okay. No other questions?
Okay. Mr. Hoffman?
Yeah. I'm just a little bit confused because I'm looking at the survey and I'm looking at the aerial photograph. The aerial photograph shows that your structure, your existing house, is in the whatever you call it, straight part of the T.
Yeah, the T, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then on the survey, it's showing, is this the new construction?
So there's a little pool pump house? Is that maybe what's confusing, right behind the pool,
No,
right behind
is
the
there a
house?
way to, I don't mind sharing mine, if you want to look.
Sure, do you want me to step up there?
Just, so this one and
Yeah, so
the aerial, well, pull up the aerial photo, turn it over. The other way. One more.
yes.
Okay, so see how the house is sitting on the T part?
Uh-huh.
And then if you look at the survey, it's showing a structure on the,
That's the
next to
proposed
the road.
structure.
Is that the
The
proposed?
proposed structure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that, they left that out, and then that's the proposed
It's
structure
not the
on
way
the
we-
survey.
okay. It's not the way we usually see the surveys. That's fine. Just clarify. Okay. Now, is this new structure meeting regulatory setbacks
Yes,
the way it is now? Okay. Very good. Thank you.
thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Humberg?
No,
Okay,
Bill asked my question.
okay. Now I'm going to just ask you to step aside. I'm going to see, is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak in favor or opposition to this variance? Seeing none, you may come back.
Good job.
It's close. So now I'll do this as council. Any concluding comments?
For myself?
Yes.
No,
Thank you.
thank you, yeah.
Okay.
I don't see a date on the survey. Hold on.
4/125.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the variance request as depicted on the survey for 125.
We have a motion by Ms. Clemmings to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Mr. Humberg. I will read this, any discussion? Seeing none. I will read out 6. I'm sorry?
Thank you.
Oh. Wait a minute, wait, where you going?
He told us this.
Just
Oh,
stand there.
wait, let me just say this.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Apologize.
So I'm going to read, in order to authorize any variance, the Board of Zoning must find all the following factors to exist. That special conditions and circumstances exist which are not applicable to others. That the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. That granting the variance requested will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied by the provisions of this chapter to other lands, buildings, or structures in identical zoning classification. That literal enforcement of the provisions of this chapter would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the identical zoning classification under the provisions of this chapter and constitute unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. That the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible the reasonable use of the land, building, or structure. That the granting of variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this chapter, and that such use variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. We have a motion to approve.
I'd like to address the board before we go ahead and approve this. whenever we looked at the survey just right now, it does not meet on the survey that was provided for the variance. It does not meet the 10-foot setback on the one side. It says 8.9. However, on their survey they provided for their building permit, it does meet the 10 feet. So it needs to be stated not as depicted on the survey, but as depicted on their request for the square footage over it.
Okay,
If you
so,
could do that.
so can we
Yeah, so we're
change it
just gonna
right now, Ms.
clarify-
Cummings? So
Just need to clarify the motion.
let's.
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the variance requested as depicted
On the request.
As
as
requested by
requested
the applicant.
by the applicant.
In a second?
Second?
Now we'll have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The variance have just been passed by 4-0. Your variance have passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did
Mr.
make it.
Bodie, that's the end of our,
That's not every day, no.
no more variance, correct?
That's it.
This
None today.
meeting is adjourned.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.